Welcome to another day where we get to celebrate courage and empowerment for women. March is International Women's Month, and International Women's Day is around the corner. We have our very own amazing encouragement superstar, Jennifer Polansky, one of our mentor experts, sharing her gifts of transformation, courage, and love. So let's get to it.
Empowering women on a global scale. Welcome to Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. Powerful Women Today is on a mission of inclusion, rewriting his story to include her story, and empowering, raising, and amplifying women's voices with professional speaking, publishing, original podcasting, and web TV. And now here's your host, the founder of Powerful Women Today, Carolina Billings.
Welcome, everyone. We are thrilled to have Jennifer Polansky, ambassador of all things Women. We are here to celebrate International Women's Day and International Women's Month with our mentor expert, Jennifer Polansky, transformation and resilience mentoring guide, co-author of our upcoming publication, 30 Days to Courage. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
Me too. So excited. So I'm going to ask you, let's get to it. Let's get to the point. How do you empower women?
Well, I'll share with an example, a real life example. So what I do is I help women ultimately unlearn the self-doubt that has become quite prevalent. And I help women find their inner spark and that inner voice that guides them toward what's actually good for them and what's actually going to nourish and hold and support them, and what's really going to be in their best interest, and finding a place of self-acceptance and self-forgiveness and self-love in that. And so what's interesting is that in order to do that, I need to have a level of walking that talk. And the reality is that life isn't always like that. And so, yes, I'm very connected to my inner voice and my own natural rhythms and cycles, and I trust in the unfolding of my life, and I can hear when my body says, okay, it's time to rest. But it's not like that all the time. And so in those moments, I get to practice self-forgiveness and continue to show up, even though there's this self-doubt, like, who am I to be sharing this? Who am I?
That's the courage. Yeah, that is. And what I love about
this way. And in those moments, that's the greatest practice of self-acceptance and self-love, is when I'm having those doubts, and then to come back to, yes, I trust myself, I trust in what I'm offering. And so that is what I guide women home toward, being able to do that.
Nice. What I was going to say is that one of the things that I love about you is that, when we think of mindfulness, when we think of, we often talk about mindfully empowered, as in mindfulness. And what I love about your philosophy and your practice is that it's exactly what you just said. It's like in the gutter, in the moment, right? It's not this perfect lotus pose with, in the serene surrounding, but in everyday actionable, moments where you have the awareness, which is something you teach, to feel what your body's telling you, and to have an immediate way to bring you back to center. in the muck, right?
Exactly. And so that's the most important thing. Exactly what you said is that it's not about feeling amazing all the time, because I think that's where the biggest disconnect has happened, is that there's this idea that I need to be in this perfect self-practice and
Bliss.
be happy all the time. And that's just not life. It's not the reality. And so what are the tools? What's the inner voice? What's that self-talk when we're feeling really low like that? And how do we hold ourselves, and how do we allow ourselves to be held by others, by other women? So many women I speak to, when they come to my programs, my retreats, they're amazed at how safe they feel with other women, because so many of us grew up to see women as competition. And in fact, they're our sisters and they're our greatest support.
Well, we cannot afford competition between women. That's the reality of it, is that, it's really more collaboration because we go further together. And that is one of the blessings of our community at Powerful Women Today, that is really about leveraging the aggregate and banding together so that we can cover more ground and conquer and learn from each other. And I mean it when I say women can really not afford to be competing with each other. We got enough things that we need to band together and have the courage and resilience to break through. Each other should not be one of them. And so you have an upcoming, you're here to share a number of goodies with us. You are one of our co-authors for our upcoming publication, 30 Days to Courage, launching March 3rd. And there'll be a registration for you to join us up above and below. And your chapter, 30 Days to Self-Love. What can our friends, global friends, expect from such a beautiful aspiration?
Self-love is our natural state. We're living in a society that is very linear, very masculine, when our natural cycles are cyclical and ultimately feminine. Everything moves in cycles. And so when we're able to find a level of surrender and allowing, then we can actually come into our natural state, and life is actually much easier. We're not supposed to be pushing so hard. There's become this huge value on hard work. You put in the hard work and then you get all these things, except we're putting in the hard work and yet so many people are still unhappy. And so that's not it. It's about putting in the soft work and leaning into our natural cycles. And so this is what I've written about, is my own journey back to self and finding my authentic voice and claiming what it is that I truly need and desire, as it is in alignment with myself, rather than what the outside world is telling me I need in order to be loved and accepted.
Yeah, I just saw one of those, inspirational and aspirational posts coming through my LinkedIn feed, right? And it was last night, and we had an incredible event last night with our um, our um, our summit for visibility, our visibility summit for speakers, and you were there. You were one of our presenters, and it was amazing. And so after, it's exhausting. Like when it's very draining to come to the stage and give your best, give everything you've got, right? So I was just like kind of checking my feed, and I saw this message that said, "You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done." Okay. What a horrible thing to say, especially to entrepreneurs, especially to thought leaders and impact, social impact advocates, right? What you just said is such a harsh messaging, that is like right here, right now. Like, what is that about?
That's what leads to burnout. And it continues this perpetuation that put on a strong face, power through it. But what about our emotions? What about authenticity? What about authentic connection and remembering that the person we're working with, the person who we've got a deadline for, is also a human being, also has a family, also lives in a body and gets tired. Like, it's okay to rest. And so that's everything that I do encompasses this value around listening to our natural cycles, because that's what's going to be sustainable. That's what's going to bring us into true happiness and true pleasure in our body. And even knowing what that word means for us, I say the word pleasure, and so many people are like, oh, we have this idea of what pleasure means because that's what we've been told. But like, what does pleasure actually feel like in my body? What does that look like to me? So
in
it's
every dimension of your life.
What do I believe? How do I see life? What works for me?
You know, it's funny. I think I just had a vision of how, when, you know, in our cars, right, that check engine light, we treat it like, you know, biblical. How many people ignore that check engine light? Not many, right? The second it comes out, it's like, you got to do something about it. We need to, and Jennifer teaches us to recognize our check engine light for ourselves, right? So I cannot wait to hear more about it. I know you got an upcoming program that you want to tell us about, and we are so proud to share our journey with you in Powerful Women Today. And I would love for you to close our episode today and share about your upcoming program, but also I would ask that you share with all of our sisters, what do you wish women knew about Powerful Women Today?
Thank you. So the program that I run, Embodied Feminine Power, it's recognizing, what do I want? What does bring me joy? And feeling that in the body, feeling safe to be in the body and to feel joy and sensuality in our body. It's reconnecting to our authentic self so that we can have authentic connections with others. And it's a coming home to ourselves. And what women get out of this program is freedom from self-doubt and from limiting beliefs. And it's really a new sense of trust in their worthiness to live life on their terms. And so what I love about being part of Powerful Women Today is that this is a group that empowers women. This is a group where women are working together and seeing each other and witnessing each other. And I absolutely love any space where the intention and the desire is to see women rise and thrive, because that's what's going to support the next generation. That's what's going to support sustainability of both ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our mental health, and the planet that we live in. It's all an ecosystem that is so intricately connected. And so I'm so grateful to be part of this space and to be part of this group, and for everything that you do, Carolina.
Oh, everything that we do, darling, because together is magic. And so join us. We have 4 more visibility summits to go through in March. Our next one is March 10th, where we honor all the coaches, and we talk about your inner coach. You don't necessarily need to be a professional coach. We're coaches as parents, we're coaches as partners, we're coaches as sisters, we're coaches as, you know, daughters, and the better that we learn to communicate with ourselves and to others, the greater the impact we can have. So follow the link, the information, how to join us, and we will also put the information on how to get a hold of our amazing Jennifer. So thank you so much. Until next time.
Empowering women on a global scale. This has been Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. To learn more about how you can join and transform your life and the lives of women everywhere with professional speaking, publishing, podcasting, and web TV, visit powerfulwomentoday.com. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen and watch your podcasts.